On the 22nd of March 2010, dispatches aired, and what they did was reveal that they posed as a US lobbying firm and approached many ex-ministers and MPs and others, and asked them to do all kinds of things for money and all sorts of behind-the-scenes lobbying. And this is what ran all across the papers on the 23rd of March 2010. And the reason we remember it is because it was the first time for the organisations involved in libel reform that we went to Parliament to ask them to change the law and effectively to lobby. But the difference with our campaign was that we turned up at Parliament with hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. I remember when Jack Straw walked through the door of that lobby. It was the biggest room in Parliament and it was rammed to the rafters. And he did the kind of double take that you only see in a Viz cartoon. And came on and just said, this is the biggest meeting in Parliament that I've seen for many, many years. And there were people in that room who had never come to talk to their MP before, who had never thought to write to their MP before. And we followed a really lively meeting in which people spoke and have continued throughout our campaign to speak up, often in really intimidating circumstances, like standing in a parliamentary committee room, and talk about the kinds of experiences that they've had. It's often, I mean, most of those people had never given a wedding speech, let alone stood up and tried to convince ministers to change the law. And my heart really goes out to the people who went through those experiences with us and were brave and honest and talked about those experiences, because it's to them actually that we owe so much of this campaign. And when we finished that lobby, that rally, we went down into the lobby of Parliament and we saw the lobby do what it really was supposed to do, in stark contrast to the dispatches programme of the night before, which was that people from all over the country had handed in this rather archaic thing called a green slip, asking their MPs to come down and talk to them about what they were worried about. And the lobby was rammed to the rafters. We couldn't push through it, with people from all over the country coming to talk to their MPs about why libel mattered, and actually challenging the kinds of stuff that we'd heard to that point. We'd had 9 months of people saying to us, this is not a vote winner, it's far too complicated, nobody's interested, people have tried this for a century, and it's challenging all of that. And that's actually the moment at which I think, as partners in the Libel Reform Campaign, we looked at each other at the end of that day and said, we could actually really do something here. I think that's been, for me, the amazing story of this campaign, because what we've heard throughout this evening is people saying, well, it's not quite all we asked for, and it really isn't, and there's this yet to do and there's that yet to do. But one place where we have a really clear victory in our campaign is a victory for people, which is a very odd thing to say in our modern times of disengagement and so forth. It's a victory for people becoming engaged in the process of how we design the laws that we want and that govern us. And that, to me, is a victory that's 100%. It's not 9 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 or all those things that we've scored throughout the campaign. It's 10 out of 10. And I think that Sarah Hermitage said it very well in an email that she sent to me earlier this week. She said, what's been achieved in the Libel Reform Campaign, English Pen Sense About Science, Index on Censorship, and all those who have supported them is truly astounding. As much as my faith in civil society has been damaged by what we experienced in Tanzania and the present apathy of the British government in respect to our case, it's been encouraged by what has been achieved by the reforms, and what has been achieved is astounding. People coming together with a common purpose of changing a law that is clearly wrong. That is truly what civil society is about, and I'm proud to be a member of that society, and I thank you all for what you've done.